Anglers Extra.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. It is a muggy day at White House Field. I'm standing on the field with John Schiffner. One thing that also hasn't cooled down is your team. 3 wins in a row. It's actually the longest active winning streak in the league. And in each of those 3 games, your team has scored in the first inning after you had talked about slow starts in the beginning of the season. What's the biggest change you've seen over this short stretch?
Well, they're just taking better at bats. They're getting more base runners on, and we're executing. We're either executing the small ball or we're playing the game of baseball. You get a ground ball to drive a runner in, or sacrifice flies. We're just doing the right things right now, and it's a lot of fun to watch. That's the way the game should be played.
How much confidence has it given the team to, after not seeing Orleans and Harwich, 2 teams that had been atop the standings, to beat them both in 3 days?
Well, I think that the kids know that they're right up there with anybody in the league. They've seen every team in the league now, I believe, and they know what they have to do, but they also know what the other teams have, and they know that there's nobody that's head and shoulders better than them.
Last night, the pitchers struck out 18 Harwich Mariners. That's a season high for the team and only one shy of the league best this season. What were the pitchers doing so well, specifically Ryan Thompson, who struck out 11?
Locating. He was locating his pitches very, very well. He got a number of called strikeouts, and he was mixing his speeds, changing his speeds, going to his breaking pitch. He just threw a very, very good ball game. He was outstanding.
You said after the game that you were really happy for Ryan. Why is that?
Well, here's a guy, and he joins the list. He was a 10th player, and now he's one of our top starters. That's great, and there's no one who's more appreciative of what's going on here than him. He was, I don't think I've seen a bigger smile when I said, hey, would you like to stick around for the whole summer? And the look on his face was, first of all, relief, and then he was very grateful, and that's great for me. That's the fun stuff of the summer is when someone earns their way onto a team like that, and I think it's great. It's hats off to McElhaney, Tommy Lawrence, Schultze, and Ryan. They all were brought in as 10th players, and they make the club.
You've talked about how tough it is to cut players once the deadline rolls around, but how great is it to tell guys like Tommy and Ryan Thompson that they get to stick around?
It's fun. It really is. It really makes my summer in a sense because it's a long summer, but you think back of the smiles, and all of them, we knew they were, weren't sure what was going to happen, and we certainly told them that they had every opportunity to make the team, and they did. And you don't look back now. They're with us for the rest of the year, and they're a very viable part of the bullpen.
They've started the last 2 games. Now, going back a little bit, you've been the manager of the A's for 20 years. In fact, you have a Chatham A's tattoo. But when you were in the league, you played with the Harwich Mariners, which is who are playing tonight for the 2nd time this season. What are your favorite memories playing in the Cape Cod Baseball League?
Oh, God, just the honor to be here. The honor is still, 38 years later, it's still the same. You're in the Cape Cod League. It doesn't matter which team you're playing for. And, Harwich is a great community. I loved playing here. I live here now. It's fabulous. The memories, the players I played against, the guys that I played with, still stay in touch with some of them, which is really neat. It was so much fun, and as it's a little different. I think we might have. I'm not going to try to say this in a strange way. We probably had a little bit more fun back in those days because there was 2 nights off a week. Wow. You're lucky to get 2 nights off a month now, and we had 2 nights off a week. One of the nights was every Monday night was a night off for the entire league, but you could obviously use that as a makeup date. And then because there was only 7 teams in the league at that time, somebody was rotated out, so you got 2 nights off a week, and it was fabulous. And you enjoyed Cape Cod, I think, a lot more than these guys get the opportunity to. But, it's business. It's a business. This is part of the process. But I think the emphasis was still the same. It was the developmental league. You were the best of the best was here. And I had an absolute blast. That's why I'm still here. I enjoyed it as a player very, very much. The challenges and the, just meeting different kids, coaches, and so forth. It was great.
Back to the here and now, you're in the midst of this stretch where you play 6 consecutive games against divisional opponents, as you like to call them, 4-point wins, 2 points for the A's and 2 points that the other team can't get. How important is it not just that the team is getting a little bit hot, but that they're doing it against divisional opponents?
Well, it's good. It's great, but it's just still, it doesn't matter. You got to win. If you want to, hold your spot, you want to, guarantee yourself a playoff spot, you got to win. And it doesn't matter who you're playing, but it certainly is, like I said, it's 2 points that somebody can't get and 2 more points that you're getting. So I do call it a 4-point game. So they are somewhat of importance, but everybody's playing the same number of games, so it doesn't really matter. But it sends a message, and I think we've sent a message to the whole league that we're a pretty good team. If we go back, we play 3 great games against arguably the 2 better teams in the league.
Chad, I'm looking for another 4-point win tonight as they take on the Harwich Mariners for the second night in a row. Good luck, Schiff.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
The Anglers Extra continues. We send it back to Chris Fitzgerald.